Welcome to the Jazz and Eli podcast. I'm Eli.
I'm Jess.
Okay, so let's get this show on the road.
Alright, well, yeah, I just first want to apologize. I'm a little sick this week, so if I start hacking up alone, that's why.
I'll try to cut that out if I can.
Okay. But just in case, yeah. Alright.
Like, give me a warning sign.
I'll try.
Alright. So, if you don't hear any coughing, that's why. Yeah, I've managed to edit it out. Alright, so today we are going to interview each other, and I'm going to start the interview process with my mom. And I'm just going to ask a bunch of questions as interviews go.
That is how interviews work.
Generally, that's how they work. You just start asking questions. Alright. I think I'm just going to go chronologically. They don't really make any sense until, after, I just started off just writing random questions, and then I just started thinking about them. And so it's going to sound weird at first.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay. How old were you and Grandma when you and Grandma moved into Deborah's house?
How old was I?
Yeah.
I was 13, about to turn 14. It was
before that you were living just you and Grandma?
No. Deborah had actually moved in with us when I was about 7.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And at one point they decided they were ready to start saving up to buy a house together. And so we moved into Alan's.
So it was really Deborah and Grandma's house?
Yes.
Okay, see, how I always interpreted it is that you moved into Deborah's house.
No.
Okay.
No, they bought that house together.
Oh, okay. That's a good investment,
honestly. Yeah. And, they'd already been living together for, around 6-7 years when we bought that house.
Mm-hmm.
And, but when they decided to buy the house, or to start saving up to buy a house, we rented from Alan for a long time.
So did he give you guys good deals on the rent?
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that he gave them an awesome deal on the rent, so that they could save up to buy a house.
He was a good guy, from what I hear.
Yeah.
He watched out for Grandma and Deborah.
Oh, yeah,
from
definitely.
what I'm understanding.
Yeah.
And he was, I guess, a positive male figure in your life when you were growing up.
Yeah,
so,
very influential individual.
So, that, it was good.
Yeah.
How many kids did you want when you were a kid?
I wanted a ton of kids.
You wanted a basketball team of children?
Yeah. I wanted 10 kids.
I think every kid thinks that. They're like...
Yeah, and then you start having kids and you're like, I don't want 10.
Some people do have 10 though.
Yeah, that is true, but I was not one of those. I stopped at 4. At 4 I was like, I'm not doing pregnancy again.
Yeah. Oh no.
Pregnancy
sucks.
Oh, well, and plus with...
I guess for the first time
the
it's
last
pretty awesome.
2, I ended up having that hyperemesis gravidarium where I was just vomiting constantly.
Ew,
so
sucks.
That's enough to make you go, I don't want to do this anymore.
No,
I'm done.
Sick. Yeah.
I am done.
Yeah.
And I think it boiled down to that was my gallbladder was acting up, but because it wasn't,
didn't know it yet.
Basically, it was my gallbladder was kind of starting to go bad, but it wasn't enough to pick up on any ultrasounds or anything.
Yeah.
But the pregnancy was aggravating it. Personal opinion, it could have just been the pregnancy hormones. But anyway.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted a shit ton of kids.
See, what I think as a kid, you view life so naively.
Right.
You don't understand what reality is.
What it takes to take care of that many people.
Yeah, people. Yeah. And to train them to function in life.
Right, and to give them all the attention that they deserve.
Yeah. The love that they need.
And it was hard enough with 4.
Oh God. I couldn't imagine 4. I have a hard time with 1.
Right.
She's enough to just make me be like...
She's a handful. She really is.
She is a lot. She's a lot. She's a huge personality.
She really is.
But she's awesome.
Love her to pieces.
I do. I love her so much. Sometimes I just want to pull my hair up, but I don't think I'm the only mom in the entire world.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Every mom in the entire world has
at
wanted
some
to pull
point
her
or
hair
another
out.
has really just wanted to rip their hair out of their scalp.
Yes, especially with a toddler.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Uh-huh.
Did you see the picture that Chris posted to the family chat this morning? It's like, or he may have just sent that to me. It was basically, me, what's in your hand? Toddler.
Yeah.
Picture of the child running away.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook.
Okay, yeah, he posted it there too.
Yeah. Alright.
Next question.
Do you want to talk about tripping on acid?
Sure.
It was the 90s.
It was the 90s.
A lot of people
I did a lot
acid.
of that.
A lot of people did acid.
I did a lot of acid. Alright, so what do you want to know?
Alright. What is your best trip story?
Gosh, there's so many. I'd have to say the time I tripped on mushrooms.
Okay.
While my boyfriend and the people I was around were kind of messing with me.
Okay.
I'd have to say it was definitely the most intense trip. Let's see, I actually hallucinated. With acid, mostly it was just stuff moving and a general intense feeling and you know, kind of just everything breathing, and the colors are super vibrant, and, you know, your train of thought's not real coherent.
Mm-hmm.
But on mushrooms, it was like 10,000 times more intense.
Hmm.
I mean, like, I was actually hallucinating.
Yeah.
Like,
things were changing.
things like one of my friends had brought over some of those ball pit balls from Peter Piper Pizza.
Uh-huh.
And somebody had cut one open. I was like, look, it's wet inside. And I mean, like, I wiped it and I could see the water on my fingers, and they kept telling me no, that it was not wet.
Yeah.
Then when I was laying down in bed, so I was tripping really fucking hard, the wall, I had a shrine to the Ramones.
Of course.
And in the middle of it, there was a picture of Joey Ramone.
Uh-huh.
And that picture stayed right where it was, but the wall would fall away into black, and then come rushing back at me.
Oh my god.
And then it'd fall away into black. And that one little picture of Joey Ramone stayed in the middle.
But everything else pushed to the back?
Would just fall away into black. It would just disappear.
Oh, so it just completely
It completely was like a void.
Oh,
and then it would just all come rushing back.
Oh my god.
And it kept doing that for a while.
How old were you?
It was the summer, I want to say it was the summer after high school.
69.
Summer of 69, yeah, right. I wasn't even alive in the summer of 69. Let's see, I think your grandmother
so it was like 93?
No,
when
it'd have been like...
graduate?
I graduated in 91, so
okay.
It'd have
been
91.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was... Yeah,
this was about 4 years before me and like 3 years before Dad. Before you got married to Dad.
About 3 years before I got married to your dad.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
3 years before you married Dad, but only like, what, a year or two before you met him? When did you meet Dad?
Well, we started dating in 93, so we would have met in 92, so yeah, it was the summer before I met him.
Oh, wow. It's so weird how much your life changed in just that short
That 2
time.
years, yeah.
Yeah.
Where
did you guys meet?
You know the answer.
I know the answer. Of course I know the answer. I was the only one of your children who's actually fascinated about what happened to you before us.
Right. Okay, so I was the RE leader. I wouldn't really say I was a teacher.
Yeah, I
was the RE leader at for the teen
I should
group.
totally say that to Laura. and just be like, don't call us teachers, just call us class leaders or something.
Facilitators.
Like, something. Volunteers.
But anyway, so I was the teen RE leader, but I was only 19 or so myself.
Yeah, you were a kid.
19, 20-ish. Yeah. Anyway, they talked me into it much as they did you.
Yeah. We need someone. So could you please
do this?
Please help us.
You have teen friends. Get them to come over.
Yeah.
So I did.
Yeah.
And one of the teen friends that I had, and these kids were still in high school, so they were a couple of years younger than me. And your dad, of course, is 3 years younger than me. So that's about the age range of the kids that were in the class. Mm-hmm. And one of them, Nathan.
Not a lot of 19-year-olds hang out with high schoolers, in my perspective, at least.
No, I was rather immature for my age.
Oh, okay. There's probably...
I related more to kids that were a couple of years younger than me. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I had all my friends coming over to join the teen class. You know, we'd go pick them up or we'd all still be hanging out together because, you know, we did a lot of crazy stuff. But anyway, we'd all show up Sunday morning. Anyway, Nathan said, I've got this guy you guys got to meet. He's fucking cool as shit. And
that describes Dad pretty well.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
He's a cool fucking dude. And brought him over. And I think we actually first really were introduced at Groove Fest.
Yeah.
But we didn't really hang out.
Before or after the RE?
I was still, like we were hanging out at Groove Fest. Mm-hmm. That, like, it was after. We were just all hanging out.
Okay, so.
Because we all hung out together anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The RE thing was just sort of
another way to hang out, basically.
Right. Basically, I conned them all into showing up so I'd have somebody to teach.
Yeah, someone to talk to.
Right.
Make it look like you're doing
something. To make it look like I was doing something.
Yeah.
And
I don't think they cared. They just wanted young faces at the church.
Exactly. You know, and I'd run into him at least once over at Nathan's house, but it was really like a, hey, what's up? And he left. You know, It wasn't like we hung out or I really was introduced to him. Mm-hmm. I was actually introduced to him at Groove Fest. But he was the one that brought your dad around. Mm-hmm. And I of course thought he was freaking cute as shit. He had, his hair was about chin length and he had been using sun-in on it, so it was a kind of a gold color.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
And all I had was the chin goatee.
Oh my god. Most of the time he's rocking a beard these days.
Yeah,
he's feeling lazy and then he shaves it off and then he lets it grow back out to a certain length and then he shaves it off.
Yeah, he'll just trim it back real short.
Yeah. That's the one thing on his upper appearance that he maintains.
Those eyes that all of you guys have.
Yeah. We have pretty Park's eyes.
Yes, you guys have gorgeous eyes, and I was really happy that my kids got his eyes.
Yes.
But yeah, that's basically how we met.
Cool.
Was Nathan dragged him to meet me.
I wonder what his first impressions of you were.
You'd have to ask him.
I really want to. I've never heard Dad's side of the story.
I'm not even really sure I know what his first impressions were of me.
I want to interview Dad.
You'll have to talk to him about that.
Maybe do a segment where you're not here.
And you talk to just him.
Yeah.
That would be fun. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
Now that's one of our podcasts I'd actually tune in for.
Well, yeah, because you're not here for it. Most people don't listen
he's
to their
more
podcast.
Likely to answer differently if I'm not here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that he would lie to you if
No, I know. It's just like
the way the story would end up being told would be different with both of us here.
Yeah. Exactly. I think that's just the case with anybody, honestly. They kind of just change it up a bit. I think if it was just me and him, I think he'd do it. There's a lot of things that I would like to hear on Dad's perspective. I mean, he's been pretty vague about his life. Mm-hmm. And there aren't a whole lot of questions that I've asked him. So I think I want to interview Dad. I want to see where that goes. Okay. What is your dream job?
I don't really have one per se. Just one where I'm not. I guess one where I'm more my own boss.
Mm-hmm.
Something that would give me freedom to
live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be kind of cool to have one where I could travel a lot.
Mm-hmm. See the world.
Yeah.
Except for our tiny little patch of it.
Exactly. To be able to...
I feel so shut off from reality because I haven't seen
any of it. Right.
And, I mean, looking at it through the TV is totally different than actually seeing it
going
in
there
person.
And looking at it, yeah.
That's why I'm so excited about Warped Tour. Because I actually get to meet Charles Trippy in person, in the flesh, and I don't know what I'm going to do.
Right.
I have no idea. I've never been in that situation where I've met someone
that I idolized. A blithering idiot from my experience. I mean...
Yeah.
The few times that I've run into famous people for whatever, whoever...
And he's not famous. He's just a guy.
He's famous to you. I mean...
Yeah. He doesn't know who I am, and I know who he is.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's
that makes him famous.
Of fame.
Right. Let's see. Yeah, I was pretty much an idiot a few times that I met somebody famous.
Tori Amos, did you ever actually meet?
Yeah.
You talked to her?
Yeah. Took a picture with her and everything.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I thought I was remembering that correctly.
Billy Bob Thornton. Joey Ramone and Johnny Ramone, and like I say, we're all just like right there.
Yeah.
Shook Johnny's hands.
Oh, man.
Watched Joey giving out autographs.
Wow, I never knew that. I didn't know you met the Ramones.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was.
Oh
it was
God.
Definitely an amazing experience to stand next to Joey Ramone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was amazing. I mean, I could see the gray hairs on his head. I mean...
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
so funny that they're so much older than you.
I was 18. I mean, so he was easily in his 40s.
Yeah, I know. It's just that it's crazy that... Because when I was a kid, my timeline for the Ramones was they were your generation.
But they're not.
But they're so not. They started in the 70s.
Yeah, they're my mom's generation, not my generation.
No. So I'd never thought of that. Like, I never thought about how old they actually were or when they started. Mm-hmm. I just assumed that they were a band from your generation.
Right.
And that's why you listened to them.
No.
Mm-mm. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was 2 when they signed their first contract.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, if you could move out of Oklahoma today, where would you move to next?
Colorado.
I knew you would answer Colorado.
I mean, yeah, if we're just talking like move in the U.S., Colorado, hands down.
What about anywhere in the world?
Anywhere in the world, probably Scotland.
I knew that too.
Those are my 2 favorite places in the whole world. I would love to go to Scotland.
Oh my God, for real. The Highlands of Scotland.
Oh my God. Anywhere in Scotland, just be there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, yeah. Something about that place calls to me.
I think it's your soul. Your soul.
Well, we are Scottish.
This is true. Okay. That was short-lived. If you could...
It's an easy question.
Yeah. Okay. If you could time travel, but just watch and not have to live through the events, what are some events that you would witness?
Oh, wow. Oh, so fucking many of them.
Uh-huh.
I mean...
It's really interesting.
I would honestly not mind going back and witnessing all of all of humanity, basically, from where we basically crawled out of the trees to now, and just watch it all unfold.
Yeah, if you had the ability to sit there and watch it.
Kind of like an omniscient being, just watching over the whole thing would be amazing.
Yeah.
To see how it actually all went down.
Yeah. Not
how we wrote it down later, or how people told the story,
but how it actually
happened, what they all said to each other, how everything unfolded. I mean, I would love to watch all of human
like,
civilization.
The first actual, like,
or we went from
governmental civilization.
Or we went from having like tribal leaders to having kings that ran countries.
Yeah, exactly. Like an actual, like, civilization.
Yeah, where we went from hunters and gatherers to growing our own crops. You know, how it'd be fun to see, like, some of those mythological things that we're not sure whether or not they actually happened, but we have some historical evidence that they took place.
Yeah.
How did that actually go down?
Right.
It'd be really cool to know,
right.
You know?
Exactly.
What did these religious relics or these writings truly mean to these people?
I think about this stuff all the time.
Me too! Oh my gosh.
All of the time. That's why I'm so fascinated with history. I just like to...
But I want to know how it, like, actually happened, not what the stories are that we tell about it.
Exactly. I know. It's like, I really want to know. I just want to spectate what was going on. And just, like, and rewind it at any point in time. Look at a different section at the same time frame.
Right, so you can
see
the interconnect. That's why I like Omniscient Being, where you can kind of see the whole thing playing out in front of you.
Yeah, oh my
Each part of it and how they're all interacting. Because, I mean, even when, you know, prehistoric, quote unquote, we interacted with one another.
Mm-hmm.
We traveled around, you know, each group had something to do with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be interesting to see how all that played out and how...
Just how it went.
How it went, yeah. So there isn't any one particular or a couple of particular events that I would like to see. I'd like to see it all.
Mm-hmm. That's how I feel too. I think about it all the time. It's like, man, I wish I could just go back in time and watch that happen. Like, I would love to watch you guys meet.
Uh-huh.
More than anything, just watch y'all's lives play out. And then the moment that you guys meet.
Uh-huh.
And then from there on. I would love to watch that. And then just, like, that situation with everything else. Just, like, oh, that's my family right there. That's where they're growing.
Right.
And just, you know, track it back to the earliest.
And also, like, see where our family, like...
came from and what we went through.
Roots all our ancestors and how we got... how our branch got where we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where we were at some point.
Who was the person that decided to come over here? Who, you know, because somewhere along the line, somewhere on the Laughlins decided to come to America.
Oh, I would like to see what the McLaughlins were doing and how that worked out.
Exactly, like, who was our family in Scotland? Who was our family in Ireland? Who are we a part of?
Yeah, exactly. What brought us to America?
You know, why was it Missouri and Oklahoma that we settled in?
Yeah.
Was it just because that's where the land was?
Mm-hmm. Or if it was...
Was there something about this area that drew them here besides free land, which is most likely what it was?
Most people were up for free land.
That area in Missouri was homesteaded.
Because, like, back in the day, you were considered very powerful if you had land of your own.
Uh-huh.
So, free land was a steal.
A huge deal,
It was a big deal. You had you had property.
That's why the Sooners happened, because people were trying that desperately to have their own spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to stake it, and to claim stake to it.
Exactly.
Okay, so, alright, time travel. Okay, when you first went to school, what was your major of choice? Like, when you first started, what did you think you were going into school for? Was it always psychology, or was it something else?
Social work.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be a social worker. And this was pretty much my goal throughout school, even though my major changed. I wanted to focus on, excuse me, on disadvantaged teens or teens with psychological disorders like bipolar, schizophrenia, stuff like that, like abnormal psych. Not the just general depression or anxiety, but like real problems.
Mm-hmm.
Or
real mental health issues,
right?
Not real problems.
Or, you know, basically
even then, that's still
wayward
not politically correct.
Teens that were disadvantaged in some way, didn't have families, or were in foster care. We'd even discussed at some point taking on like a brood of children have our own, but, also take on foster kids.
Oh my God.
Clearly that didn't happen.
I could not imagine.
My life was
happening.
far too...
Unstable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I would have had to have been a lot more stable than I was. I don't even think I could do it now.
Even imagine, I have learned a lot
But,
of what not to do from you guys.
Who knows? Maybe once all our kids are gone and we are a little more stable, we might take on some foster kids.
Dad would kill you.
Yes, he would.
Dad would kill you.
You're probably right.
He would not be
probably
okay
not
with
gonna.
that.
No, he probably wouldn't.
He's like,
he is so ready to be free of children.
Yeah, he's like, I have been waiting. And waiting. And waiting.
For 20 freaking years now.
Over 20 years.
Yes.
To be childless.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he kept adding some on, and he's like, another death sentence. Another one to not kill.
That's another freaking 18 years.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, mother.
We're almost done, man.
Would you stop?
The baby will be 15 this year.
Yeah.
So, we're almost done. Just 3 more years and we will be
childless, technically.
No longer the parents of minors.
Nope. Oh, man.
I mean, Lily might still be living at home.
Oh, for sure.
But,
for sure.
Most likely, yeah.
For sure.
But we won't be responsible for her in the way that we are right now.
Yeah.
We can go get a job.
Yeah.
Pay rent.
Start helping.
Yes.
Bye.
Be useful.
Yeah.
Or get out.
Yeah. You're 18. That's pretty much always been the understanding.
We wouldn't kick her out, though. But, at the same time, it's like, contribute.
Can do something with your life.
But, right now her job is to graduate high school and...
That is perfectly fine. I am okay with that plan.
Yes. Me too. Alright, what's next?
Alright. Okay, if you could go back, would you finish... Oh, okay. Yeah. Would you go back and finish your original major, or would you study something else?
I don't know.
Have you ever put any thought into it?
I mean, yeah, I've thought about going back to school. I mean, because I really only have a little bit left to do to finish my psychology major.
But is that something
so
that you would use?
So it makes sense to just finish that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I would think, is that really useful to me?
Exactly.
Or would it just be more useful to take the gen eds I've got and then go along a different path? It would take me a little bit longer to finish, but I might have something more useful. Because a psychology degree, it's unlikely that I would actually use it. Because I really could not make more money as a psychologist than I do right now.
Yeah. In fact, it'd probably be harder for you to find a job.
I would have to get at least a master's degree, because just a bachelor's degree in psychology, I'd be lucky if I made $30,000 a year. I might be able to get a teaching certificate and work in a school.
Nope. That still isn't any more money than you
No, I wouldn't be making any more than I'm right now.
You'd probably be making, what, less?
And I'd be having to work a lot harder.
Yeah. And dealing with shitheads all day.
Exactly.
And just basically miserable.
So, yeah, I would hate it. I would probably be better off going back and getting a business degree. Or some sort of business management degree.
That's what I was hoping your answer would be.
If I were to actually go back, that's probably what I would do.
If your pursuit right now is business,
then
it would make
more sense to go and get a business management degrry. Honestly, even if it was an associate.
If I was to be going into school right now, that's what I'd be doing.
Yeah, business management.
Business management.
Yeah.
Whatever Grandma's been spouting at me for forever.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and considering what we're working on right now, that would make the most sense. We're trying to start our own business in retail sales. We need to... It would be great if somebody knew what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah, we're kind of just grasping at whatever's in the air.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to do it right.
Learning from trial and error, getting advice from other people who have done it, watching YouTube videos.
I watch a lot of people who do it for a living.
You have lists of what sells. You have...
I actually just signed up for a 4-week webinar, Pay What You Want. So I paid $20 because I figured that was $5 per video for I think it's an hour-long video. $5 a video. It was what I could actually afford, because I was thinking about paying for a $40 course, which is very similar to what I'm about to do. But this was closer to what I could afford at the time. So
Yeah.
and it's on Bolo Brands.
Cool.
So
We'll see.
but it's something that all three of us can watch together and learn from together.
Okay.
It will not be interesting to you, I promise.
I know. That's why I'm going, fuck.
But if you're going to be going to Goodwill with us and going through racks of clothing, it'd be really great if the two of you knew what the hell you were looking for.
Yeah, because me and Dad are just looking at clothes, looking at you and being like, is this right?
What about this one?
Is this
What
cool?
about this one? This has got tags on it.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty much what your dad does right now. I'm serious. It's like, okay, this is a green tag. What do you know? So it'd be great if you guys knew more.
Had
So,
a little
and then
knowledge.
at some point, I will be paying for the $40 course.
Okay.
It's from a different person, but it'll be a little more in depth on clothing on eBay. So,
Okay.
you know, but yeah, if I went back to school, that's what it would be for. Probably business management.
Alright. Did you want pets when you were a kid?
God, yes.
Did you ever have any?
Yes.
Oh.
I got a dog when I was 13.
Oh, okay. So when you moved to the house?
No, we were actually still living over at Alan's house.
Oh, okay. So you got a dog. What kind of dog was it?
He was a bird dog.
What
He
the
was-
hell is that? Can I
he
get a
was-
picture?
Part pointer.
Have I ever seen one?
I don't know.
I don't
He was
know.
part pointer.
Meow. Meow.
Okay, let's see. He was brown and white. I know I have pictures of him. You guys have probably seen him.
There's a chance because I'm absolutely fascinated to know what happened before I existed. I don't know why it fascinates me, but it does. It really does. Oh, another thing, if I could go back in time, I would see if any of those conspiracy theories were actually true. Like the secret society conspiracy theories.
Oh, right.
I
Yeah.
would want to see if like the Illuminati ever existed and if it carried over from Germany is technically where it was originated from.
A little bit like this.
Oh yeah, I've seen a dog like that.
Yeah, if you look through old pictures when I was a kid, then you probably
Maybe. I don't remember.
I know that there was pictures.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there were. They didn't stick out enough in my memory
Right.
to like actually hold on to that. So I don't know. So, and he was black and white,
Brown and white.
brown and white, just like that.
Yeah, he looked very similar to that.
I mean, obviously it's not him.
He was a big dog. Well, yeah, clearly.
But yeah.
Yeah, he was a big dog. And
What was his name?
Dude.
Dude, of course. Oh, I think I remember that because I remember Grandma, vaguely being like, "Yeah, we used to have a dog named Dude," and I was like, "Oh yeah," and I never really put much thought into it.
Yeah, I ended up relinquishing him.
Why?
I couldn't take care of him. Never wouldn't let him come home. Like, I had him, and I was moving to a place that wouldn't allow me to keep him.
Yeah.
And so I asked Deborah if he could go back to his yard at her house.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't let him. So I had to give him up at the pound. It broke my fucking heart.
How old were you when you had to do that?
20.
Oh, damn it. You had that dog for 7 years.
Yeah, it broke my fucking heart. I was so pissed at her for that. Yeah. I was not happy. But I couldn't, Second Chance wouldn't take him.
Oh. Why? Because he was too old?
No, because he was my dog.
Oh.
And they wouldn't take a relinquished dog.
Damn it.
They would
That's
only,
not
if I had
okay.
found him on the road and taken them.
You would have been better off lying.
Yeah, probably.
You just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Damn it. You should have just sent one of your friends in there and been like,
Found this
I
dog.
just fucking found this dog on the side of the road. They'd be like, she just dumped her dog. Never mind. That would have been bad. Anyways, but...
But yeah, so that sucked. And then, of course, we had the cats.
Of course, Grandma and Deborah.
Mostly, actually, they were Deborah's cats. Minky and Tonkin.
Huh. I never knew about those. Okay.
You never heard about Minky and Tonkin?
No.
And there was another one, I don't remember his name, though.
I'm sure Grandma remembers.
Probably. What the fuck was his name?
She's a cat lady.
He ended up dying.
What did Grandma say about, dude? She just let it happen?
Uh-huh.
Did she do that a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I could handle that.
There were a lot of things that Deborah did to me that there's a reason I'm weird about it with you guys.
Yeah.
Like, I would never make you get rid of one of your pets.
That's why you just held on to our dogs.
Uh-huh. That's why I won't let your dad make me get rid of them, and I won't let your grandma do it either.
No. Alright, how old were you when Grandma stopped smoking cigarettes?
How old
I remember
was
reading your
I?
diary. You hiding in your room.
I want to say it was before we bought the house that I'm living in now.
Okay.
I believe it was when we were living in Alan's house. So I was probably around 10, maybe 11.
When'd
I
you
was
stop?
close to 10.
I wonder what made her decide to stop.
Cigarettes had just hit $1 a pack.
Oh, okay. So they were expensive.
And they were trying to save up to buy a house.
Oh, okay. So it was a cost.
It was a cost that they needed to cut. Exactly. It was just one last thing that they didn't need to be paying for anymore. Oh my Lord, that was hellish.
Oh, I can imagine, as I have lived through that.
Yes. It was horrible. Me quitting smoking was nothing like what they... Because they did it cold turkey, no medications, no help.
I did it cold turkey.
They tried to kill each other. Maybe not literally, but it sure felt like it on some days.
Like where they're just absolutely at each other's throats.
Yes.
Oh my God. I wonder what that looks like on Grandma.
You have never seen your grandmother livid.
No. I've never seen her mad. I've never
seen her... To the point
where
she is losing her shit.
I've never, ever seen that happen. She's always kept it cool.
Yeah. Around you.
Yeah.
But Deborah had a way of pushing her buttons to the point where she would just absolutely lose it.
Oh, it sounds like a toxic-ass relationship.
It was a very toxic relationship. It really was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Deborah
I'm sure Grandma was in
Deborah
awful mindset.
Was very mentally ill. She had very severe anxiety disorder. She had, and looking back on it, she was slightly agoraphobic.
What does agoraphobic mean?
Afraid of the outdoors, afraid of the world in general.
Oh, she must have hated the nursing home.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Oh, fuck.
I have no doubt.
She just wanted to be home, I'm sure.
I'm sure she did.
That's the only place.
We couldn't take care of her anymore. She was just... She couldn't live on her own. She just couldn't.
Yeah,
She had gotten so sick at that point that she had to be...
Taken care of.
Taken care of, yeah.
I remember we visited her. Grandma visited her as often as she could, and we went with her a lot of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. We visited her a lot. I mean, I saw her probably at least once a week.
You should visit your family members in the nursing home. If you don't, you're a shitty person.
Yes.
Do not.
They need you to come see them.
They need you.
They need that connection.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just letting them rot.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I was probably about 10 when she quit smoking. And it was horrible.
Yeah. When did
there
you
was
start
one day...
smoking?
Huh?
Never mind, go ahead.
There was one day, like I said, I was probably about 10. I spent the whole day hiding in my room because they were spending the whole day arguing.
That's the page that I read in your diary.
Is it?
Yeah.
There were several of those days, but there was one in particular where I sat and I read The Secret Garden in one day.
Whoa.
Because I was hiding in my room.
I could not get through that book. I was very bored by it.
I liked it.
I don't know why.
It was the first book I ever read in one sitting.
You're like, read these books, and I'd really like to be interested in them, so I could understand why you liked them. I just don't.
Yeah.
I can't get into them. Like, I can't get into Grandma's books. I can't read her books.
I can't read her books because especially the dragon books.
That's why our family members won't listen to the podcast. It's your family member.
Right.
Doing a thing.
Right.
It's a little awkward.
Yeah.
And you could, I don't know.
But that's the first book I ever read in one sitting.
I would love to read her work. I understand.
I can't because all I hear is her.
And I feel bad when I can't.
Family chat?
Yeah, Chris. Anyways, yeah, I just feel bad that I don't read her stuff because, I mean, there's probably going to be a day where I do when the time comes that she's no longer with us. God forbid that ever happens. But, or we'll read her books just so that we can hear her voice in our heads.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry.
I still don't think I'd be able to do it.
No?
Because of that.
Fair. I'm crying.
Okay,
so
next topic.
Yeah, okay.
Let's move on. I don't like that train of thought.
Nope, I don't either. Okay. When did you meet your ex?
Ryan?
I don't know if you want me to say his name.
Well, it's not like I'm going to say his last name.
Okay, Ryan.
And the chances he's going to hear this are really slim.
Right.
It's not like this I'm announcing on Facebook or anything.
Right.
When did I meet him? I met him in... What class was that? It was in high school. Senior year.
Okay.
History? American history, maybe? English? It was one of those classes. It was at high school.
Norman High.
Norman High. Yeah.
That's funny. So you met him at Norman High?
Yeah, we had a class together.
We should not say Norman High.
Okay.
Have we talked about living in Norman?
I think so.
Okay. No. I want to be so excited.
It was the only high school, so...
Okay. So, the only high school in town.
Yeah. All the kids went to that high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were bound to know each other. It's not...
There was over 600 people in my graduating class.
Kind of just know who everyone is, just by name.
Not everybody. Like, I didn't know Chris's dad, but we went to school together.
Okay. Julie and
your dad went together.
Yeah, went to the same...
They were in the same grade. And they were both at high school at the same time, but they didn't know each other.
No. Oh, God.
Isn't that weird, though?
That is so weird. Yeah, this town was too small.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It's not as small as it used to be.
When I was in high school, it was probably about 70,000.
Yeah.
Without students.
This was a small town.
Yeah. It still kind of has a small town feel to it. Not as much as when I was growing up, but definitely still
it's starting to feel very city-y, especially on the southwest side of town. No, northwest. Northwest side of town. Because that's where all the
restaurants and shops are.
Yeah, the stuff that's sucking out the other end of town.
But at least for my generation, a lot of us are still here. So our kids all grew up together, and so it still kind of has that little bit of a small town feel with that, but it's big enough that don't run into people you don't want to, as long as you stay out of the right places.
Exactly. I stay on the other side of town specifically for that reason.
To avoid running into certain people.
And
because every time I'm in East Side Walmart, I run into people I don't want to.
Exactly.
So I try very hard to stay out of that Walmart.
Mm-hmm. I just don't go to that side of town. And if I do, I keep an eye out. And if I see them, I'm ducking. Yeah.
I just run in, grab what I came in to grab, and leave. I don't try to hang around in that Walmart. No. Not like I do ours. Yeah. Or I'll just wander sometimes. Like, I want to go check out and see how much that thing is. Right. Next thing you know, you got $50,000 worth of stuff in your basket.
See, that's the sucky thing for me is that I just don't get to go to the grocery store. Like, it's a whole thing if I want to do anything other than go home after work.
Mm-hmm. Well.
Because I have to take Dad with me.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's my ride home. It's either that or get dropped off and picked up later, which can be hard to do.
Right.
So, anyways, okay. We ran off topic on that. Okay, so this pertains back into the Ryan. How long were you guys together?
2.5 years.
And what made you decide to break up with him?
It was a toxic relationship. He made me insane.
Yeah.
Like, really, he made me that crazy girlfriend that everybody hates.
Mm-hmm.
I stalked him. I was constantly jealous. I was constantly convinced that he was cheating on me, or, you know.
But that came from
him actually cheating on me.
You.
Yeah, I mean.
So there was already distrust in the relationship.
Right.
That's what causes that.
Yes.
Is that there's actual distrust and reason.
Yeah, he made me crazy. He really did.
Crazy, it was justified. I hate that women are viewed insane because they have...
I was doing crazy things.
Well, yeah, you were doing crazy things, but for a reason.
A reason, yeah. I'm not saying that it wasn't justified to some extent, but rather than just realize that I was being a crazy person
mm-hmm.
and leaving a toxic relationship,
mm-hmm.
I kept trying to make it work. And eventually gave up, clearly.
Thank God. I think that from a lot of people, they come to the realization that they are not happy and that they just don't want to do this anymore.
I'm just glad we didn't end up having kids or anything.
On accident.
Yeah. Really, really glad that never happened.
I'm really glad that didn't happen too.
Yeah. Because it would have complicated my life.
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying your dad and I wouldn't have gotten together and we wouldn't have had kids. It might have put it off.
I think Dad would have overlooked anything to be with you.
Very likely.
He would have just raised...
He put up with raising 4 kids with me just to be with me.
Yeah, so I mean...
Not that he doesn't love you guys, but it really wasn't what he wanted.
Yeah.
He had kids because I wanted kids.
He never wanted kids.
It's not something he actively wanted, per se.
I mean, he loves us to death, and he'll do anything for us, but this was not his intention.
No.
He makes it very clear.
It was not his goal.
It was so not his...
Having kids was not...
It was never on his list
of
things to accomplish in life.
No. Not really.
Oh, I want to ask Dad so many questions. Actually get to know him. Because he's been he's a closed book.
He really is.
Like, you really have to get to know this man.
Yeah, he takes effort. There's still things I don't know about him. Because he's never talked about him, and it never occurred to me to ask. And with him, if you don't ask, he's not necessarily going to tell you.
He's not, there's no reason.
Yeah, it's not just, unless it just happens to come up in conversation, he's probably not going to tell you about it. So, yeah.
I can be
I actually would be quite interested to hear that interview.
Yeah. You should throw me some questions. Like things that you may have come across your mind or something at some point. It's like,
Well, if I think of something, I'll put it down.
Shoot it to me.
All right. What's next?
Did you ever think you were going to marry Ryan and have kids with him?
Yeah, at some point.
I did the same thing with my toxic relationship.
Yeah.
At some point, you actually believe that this is your life, and
this is somebody, that I was destined to be with, and
they were your soulmate.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever actually thought Ryan was my soulmate, honestly. But I thought I was in love with him.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, same with me. I don't know if I ever thought of mine. I think
there was a part of me that wanted to have kids with him.
Yeah, at some point.
I did love him.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, I think he's glad you didn't either. Okay, I'm gonna speed this up. How old were you when you met Dad? We just kind of went over that vaguely. You were 19?
Yeah, 19, almost 20.
Yeah. Okay, how long were you friends before you decided to be with him?
Probably at least 6 months or so.
Yeah. before you realized that your relationship was awful and that you really liked
I had
this guy?
I had to be with him.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. Okay, how long were you guys together before you decided to get engaged?
6 months.
So you'd known each other for about a year at that point. Because you guys were already you already got to know each other.
Right, we were living together when he proposed.
I mean, yeah, so I mean, you guys had already known each other for a while.
Yeah.
Before
we'd known each other
dating.
for over a year by the time we...
Yeah. So you guys had really gotten to know each other. And you guys were engaged for how long?
Probably about another 6 months. We were together for a full year when we got married.
Okay. Okay, who did you tell first after you guys got engaged?
Oh my gosh, I don't even remember. I mean, I don't even remember telling your grandmother.
Like at any point in time?
I mean, obviously I did, and I mean, clearly we mentioned it at some point.
At some point, it had to have come up in conversation.
Right, yeah, and like, you know, we had to set the date and, you know, procure the church and everything, you know. She was sort of involved in that, you know. So, yeah, obviously I told her, but I don't recall, like, the moment.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It's funny what your brain sticks with.
Yeah, I guess telling people really wasn't all that important to me.
No, I guess not.
For at least enough for it to stick.
Right. How did the proposal come into conversation? I say proposal with air quotes because I've heard this story. And he didn't. Basically, you guys didn't do anything like flashy or that TV Hollywood crap.
No, of course not. We were too poor for that anyway. You know, we had discussed it, but I wanted him to actually officially ask.
Yeah.
So one day he jumped on the bed.
Oh my
handed
God.
me
and
his...
at this point, I'm imagining him a thin little rail stick boy.
Jumping into the bed.
Jumping into close to a bed, like...
But anyway, he handed me his class ring and asked me to marry him.
Aw, that's cute. I want to see that. To see Dad in that moment would just be mind-blowing for me. Because I've never seen him like that. I've never seen him like that ever at any point in time. Alright. Okay, what have you learned about being married?
What have I learned about being married? A whole lot of give and take. It's not always 50-50.
Sometimes you just...
Sometimes you're carrying each other's load. That's part of being a partner. Sometimes that person cannot pick up their end, and you've got to do it.
Yeah.
Being able to talk to each other about just whatever. Not really communication, but to be able to sit and have a freaking conversation.
Yeah.
Just like a normal hanging out, no pressure, not about anything in particular conversation. Where it just flows. And you share ideas, and you laugh at each other. And fight with each other. And fight with each other. And
I mean, because you always fight with people. It's just a part of being a person.
Right.
It's like sometimes you just gotta fight it out.
Yeah. Sometimes you get frustrated and the other person's irritating you and, you know, but yeah, the most important thing is just being able to just talk to one another. Not communicating or having an important discussion about your relationship, but just chilling and talking.
I feel like having a toxic relationship can be important to a degree when it comes to understanding what a healthy relationship is for you.
Right.
And what you want as a person.
What that give and take is.
Yeah, because I've been the person that is giving.
Doing all the giving.
Doing all of the giving and getting nothing in return. And getting eventually just like told I can't do stuff. Just completely controlled.
Yeah. No, and the next time you're in a relationship, you'll know that if that starts happening, it's time to cut and run. You know.
See, that's what my biggest fear is, though, is that I won't see it again.
Honestly, though, I had a hard time. I'd say probably the first 10 years.
I feel I hear a lot that the first 10 years are the hardest.
You're still trying to figure each other out.
Yeah.
Trying to find that balance, trying to find that camaraderie, trying to find that trust that this is not something that's just going to slip through your fingers.
Yeah.
I don't know, because of my relationship with Ryan, and maybe even some because of Deborah, I expected your dad to feel certain things about, I don't know.
Certain situations.
It's like I expected him to hate me at some point.
Okay.
I don't know. My brain.
Uh-huh.
It's what being undiagnosed depressive is, you know. I would literally lay awake until the wee hours of the morning, convinced that he hated me.
Whoa.
Convinced that he was no longer in love with me. Convinced that he didn't find me attractive.
I feel like eventually I got over it.
I mean, I got over it eventually, and I'm not kidding. It probably took a good 10 years.
Yeah.
Before I really stopped doing that on a regular basis.
Oh my god.
I'm shocked he stuck with me sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I was really insane for a very long time.
Well, I mean, I guess you also went from a super toxic relationship into a different relationship altogether.
And the only real relationship I had ever seen in action was my mother and Deborah, and it was a toxic freaking relationship.
Yeah, so...
And, you know, they were not romantically involved. For anybody who's curious, they were just roommates.
For real, they had separate rooms completely on the other side of the house.
Hetero ladies, 100%.
No Bert and Ernie action.
No, nothing like that. But it was kind of like a marriage in a lot of ways because they shared household expenses. They were raising me together. But they were just friends.
Yeah.
But that's what I had watched, and his overall calm demeanor about almost everything. I didn't know how to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I still don't. But I mean, I would try to fight with him, and I would expect him to start yelling at me, and he wouldn't.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of pushing to get your dad to start yelling at me. But I really have to push a lot of buttons.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him tip over a little bit, but I don't think I've seen him completely just...
No, we usually get you guys out of the room before it escalates to that point.
Yeah.
We never liked fighting in front of you guys like that.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever seen you guys explode at each other.
No, we saved that for private.
That's good. I'm glad you guys
We didn't want you guys to see that.
No.
There was no need for you guys to see us argue like that.
No. So,
But, honestly, those kinds of explosions were fairly rare. Like I said, he's a pretty even-keeled guy. He doesn't... It takes a lot for him to explode.
He's a very impatient person, though. I mean, I've seen him get mad, but I don't think I've ever seen him, like... Oh, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Dad just lose it completely.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be really pushing his buttons. Yeah.
Pokey poke.
Alright, any more questions?
Yeah, I got loads. Alright, is there still more to learn about it, being married, about your relationship? Is there anything left?
Yeah, I would think.
Well, obviously, since you're excited about the podcast where I interview him.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that there's, because he's such a quiet, reserved guy, I know that there's stuff that I've never thought to ask him about.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, I know a little bit about it, but nothing in depth.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of things he just doesn't talk about.
There's no reason to.
Right.
It doesn't come up. What's the point?
Or, you know, yeah, just...
I mean, I understand that. Like, what's the point of talking about it? It didn't come up in conversation.
Exactly. If I never thought
And I've just never really asked Dad anything. Because I've just been asking you your side of the story.
Right.
I know your side of the story.
I'm a lot more talkative than he is.
Yeah, and he kind of gives me vague answers. I mean... Mm-hmm. So I would encourage him to open up a bit. What are some things that you and Dad are still working on as a couple to better your relationship?
I wouldn't say they were really working on anything.
Are you just going...
Yeah.
Not with emotions, but like...
sort of
You just know how to handle each other in situations.
Yeah.
I mean, not like handle, like as in like
right,
control
but
your
like,
person, but like how to deal with them in a specific situation.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I don't really feel like we have anything to work on. We don't need therapy. We don't have any issues. We've actually hit a very comfortable spot, I think, in our relationship where
we know each other.
Yeah, we're a good team. You know, we kind of have a shared goal with this whole eBay thing. And we're just sort of working on that and dreaming on that and wanting to grow that. And that's sort of where our focus is. Yeah.
Sounds like you have a healthy relationship.
Weirdly, yes. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We work.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really do.
I've been trying to use my single time to reflect on what I want and trying to see other people's relationships and use them as an example of, you know, what to do if I ever actually end up with somebody. Like, what can I do and what can they do? That way I know how to communicate it.
Right.
So that I don't make no sense, you know? Like, Charles and Allie.
Yeah.
Like,
well, man, me and your dad, we were just fucking kids when we got together. We sort of grown up together.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are kids when they get together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my friend...
I mean, I was just...
Like my friend... I'm gonna just call her D, because I don't want to say her name. D, she's married, she's my age, she's 22, and she's working on her second kid, and she just had her kid in June last year. So, she's like, great.
Been there.
Yeah. I was like, she came through the drive-thru, and I was like, so I hear you're pregnant. She's like, yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, I was like, whew. I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah, clearly not planned.
No, it wasn't, obviously.
But yeah, we're in a good spot now, I think. I don't think we're really working on anything other than just finishing up raising our kids and making sure we're not having to work till we're 75. Yeah, that's a whole other topic of conversation.
Yep. All right. Are your expectations about life any different from how it turned out?
Yeah. I expected to be a lot more financially stable by this age.
Yeah.
To have my shit a little bit more together than I do right now.
Yeah. I'm trying to learn from your
I still feel like I'm just
living.
Floated. Yeah, I'm just trying to survive from day to day, and I feel like at my age I should not be there. I mean, but I see so many of my Facebook friends who are professionals who finished school, even ones that just recently finished school, and I'm just like, they have their shit so much better together than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, these people have like mortgages and you know.
Your own daughter's getting a mortgage.
I know.
Oh, it's scary.
And I couldn't get a credit card if I wanted to right now.
Oh my god, I'm so worried about it. But at the same time, I'm so excited.
You got this.
I mean, it's no worse than what I'm doing right now, and I don't own this place, so I'm excited to see what I can do in my own space.
Hell yeah.
What I can save up for and buy at one point, you know. I can't wait.
Yeah, me too.
Hopefully I don't like lose my job or something crazy.
Yeah, you're good.
I seem to be doing my job pretty well.
Well,
I mean, there's some things that I do that I know I shouldn't do. Just like, I'm not going to say it, but I mean, just little dumb things, little stupid rules that just don't make any sense. That I don't want to do. I just blatantly ignore them.
That's okay.
And then I get caught and I'm like, oh man, I'm so sorry.
I'll try to not do that in the past.
I'll do better next time, I promise.
Yeah,
They'll forget that they even had the conversation with me in the first place. Like, they have so many people that they have to deal with. They are not remembering my conversation with them about whatever it was that they're mad at me about.
Yeah.
They aren't paying attention.
Yeah, I thought I'd have my shit a little more together.
Yeah.
By this point. But otherwise, I think I'm doing alright.
Yeah. We're holding together. Alright. Okay. How old were you when you realized that life was not easy?
I'm not even really sure.
I was young. I mean, I knew life was so uneasy growing up as a child in poverty that I knew I was not going to college.
I grew up far too comfortable.
Yeah.
Honestly, It
was also a different time.
Yeah, the expectations when you were growing up.
Back when $1 was what you paid for
a pack of cigarettes. Yeah. When it was a big deal that it went up to $1 a pack.
And you couldn't afford it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't old enough to smoke, but...
Well, yeah, you were 10.
Right. But, I mean, growing up in the 80s, there was this expectation that everything was going to continue to always be wonderful.
Uh-huh. That was post-war, or, yeah.
That was sort of just the mindset of everybody in the 80s. It was a time of prosperity. Everybody was... partying and doing coke, and clearly not us, but you know what I'm saying.
It was just a vibrant time.
I mean, there was just this expectation that all the prosperity from the 50s, 60s, and 70s was just going to continue to carry on, without realizing that a lot of the policies that were going into place in the early 80s they were making sure that it was not going to continue.
Yeah.
And they didn't realize it at the time, but that was sort of the mindset back then, that everything would just continue to be wonderful and that the economic policies would carry through and everybody would continue to just get richer and richer and richer.
Mm-hmm.
And so clearly that didn't happen. So
instead we spiraled downwards and regressed.
Of course, I lived in a household where all the bills were always paid. There was always food in the fridge. There was a hot meal at the dinner table every night. We went to the movies every other Friday. We always went to dinner on payday.
I'm glad that doesn't happen with Charlie. Getting TV dinners and see if we can get some money for pizzas and, just...
Yeah, she's living a lot more comfortably than you guys did.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
She's also the only child.
Yes, that helps.
I'm okay
that
with
helps
that.
a lot.
I am so okay with being the only kid.
Yeah, I don't know. We were led to believe that there was going to be a lot more economic prosperity than there was. I think that's why my generation sort of fell flat on our faces.
Yeah.
Is because...
You didn't expect it?
We hit that wall that all the stuff that happened when we were kids finally came to fruition, and the economy started stumbling in a way that it hadn't in the 80s.
If they just kept going how they were going, it would have snowballed up to...
Yeah, we probably would still be
the richest country in the world.
We're already the richest country in the world, just nobody has the money but a few people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, I thought...
Except everybody...
I guess once I hit adulthood, I finally realized that life was not as easy as I always thought it was.
As you had thought it was.
Yeah. Because I grew up in
Did Grandma ever, prepare you for that? I feel like living as a comfortable person.
Kind of tried a little bit. Yeah. Because, I sat and watched them pay the bills every week, but I never had any real concept of how that worked exactly.
Yeah.
Because, I saw them do the budgets, I saw them pay the bills, but how it actually worked just never really sunk in, and I don't think I ever truly learned it. So I still struggle with it.
Yeah. I know.
I've
learned from your mistakes.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah, I feel like that's what set me up for success.
Was watching me struggle so hard.
Watched you guys deal with it.
Yeah.
And then learned from it.
And your dad really does not know how to tell me no.
No. I need a person that'll tell me no. Because I get carried away.
Yeah, I get too.
I get carried away bad. Okay. What have you learned about life other than that it's hard?
Family is everything.
So good support system really helps.
Yeah. Even if it's a family you build for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Family is everything.
You need people to surround yourself with people.
You gotta have people
to fall back on.
Yeah.
Who will catch you when you fall.
Absolutely. You gotta have people. Family is everything. I don't know what I would do without all of you people. I mean, the fact that we are all such a strong support system for one another, even Catherine.
Yeah. But she's there for us and we're there for her. And
yeah,
just like,
that's a two-way street because we're family.
Yeah.
Even when they're infuriating and saying stupid stuff on the family chat.
Pretty sure.
Or trying to start fights on the family chat just for funsies.
Just for fun, because he knows he can. Because
he likes to push buttons. But anyway, that's not the point. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I barely have any friends outside of my family.
Yeah. Okay. What are you still learning about life?
Everything, it feels like.
Well, from my understanding, no one knows everything.
No.
Not one person knows
Nobody goes
everything.
to their grave knowing everything in the world.
It's just it's impossible.
We're all just meddling through this.
Mm-hmm. We're just kind of bouncing through life.
Life is is a learning experience, and if you're not learning from it, you're doing something wrong. You should always be learning about yourself, about the world.
I'm learning how to drive. So slowly I will be learning about the world. I am 22 years old, and I still don't know how to drive.
You know how to drive, just not very good at it.
I'm getting better.
You are getting better, even if we bitch at you.
But that's...
to make you a better driver.
Yeah.
Anyway. You weren't kidding about having a lot of questions.
No, yeah, I have a lot of questions. I told you. It's been over an hour. Is there anything in your life that you would do differently?
No. Because everything that has happened has made me who I am and put me where I'm at right this minute.
Yeah.
And even one small change could have changed everything.
Yeah.
For the good or for the bad, I don't know, but you don't know. So I'd rather have the learning experiences that I've got and be the person that I am today because of them all.
Yeah, exactly.
The good and the bad.
Okay, what is some good advice to your daughters as we go through life?
Try to enjoy it.
Okay.
Don't let all the... because we can get real mired in the day-to-days. All the
I think about
minutia.
That all the time, too. Like, all
Sometimes
I'm doing
you
is
have
working, go home.
It's
working,
hard.
Go home.
And,
Working, go home.
I understand. I work, and when I'm done working, I work some more.
And then when I'm
not at work,
at home.
We're here trying to do more work.
Yeah.
So, the way I look at it right now, I've got 3 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my 2 paychecks and eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to approach it as a real freaking job, because if we don't, we'll never get anywhere with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not a hobby. I don't want it to be a hobby. I want it to replace what we're doing right now, because I'm tired of the rat race. I'm tired of... And, I want that for you guys, too, to not just be so mired in making sure the bills are paid and making sure that, the kids are fed, and don't get so mired in the little bits along the way, but try to enjoy other stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes spend that extra $20 you don't really have.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have a good time. To have a laugh. To have that ice cream that you probably shouldn't eat.
Yeah.
Because life is short. You could get hit by a bus tomorrow, and would you really want the entirety of your life to have been just trudging along to make sure, working your ass off just to make sure that you've got a roof over your head?
That you're living.
Yeah.
Just so that you can...
Yeah. You want to have some part of your life that you enjoyed.
Yeah.
Even if most of it's just trudging through the day-to-day.
Yeah. I want to just... Yeah.
Even a few happy memories to look back on once in a while.
I don't know what I would do.
Because, man, I'll tell you,
I wish I had a car of my own.
When you get
and
older...
a fucking license so I could leave this house whenever I freaking freaking wanted to.
When you get older, it's nice to have those memories that you can look back on. You know, that wild, crazy adventure you had, or
the time I walked into a bank and just decided to sign up for a home loan application.
Yep. Or the time you needed to get away from your boyfriend, borrowed $20 from somebody, and drove to Houston. Disappear for 3 days.
Hey, I wish I could disappear for 3 days with Charlie.
I mean, honestly, that was a crazy time in my life, and I was in a horrible place. But I look back on that fondly for the fact that it was one of the first things I did by myself as an adult. Without anybody saying yay or nay, not answering anybody, just saying, hey, I'm leaving, bye. And the only person I said that to was my mother.
Just so
she wouldn't worry about me.
Yeah.
And everybody else could go to friggin' hell. And I caught a lot of crap when I got back.
Yeah.
But I didn't care because I did it. I would have regretted not having done it.
Yeah.
And I needed that moment to get my head straight.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't very long after that I broke up with my boyfriend and got with your dad. So, I mean, I really think of that as a pivotal moment in my life where
What did Dad think when you were gone?
He wasn't terribly worried about it. I wasn't with him at the moment.
Oh, okay. So he just not know?
Yeah, he was actually one of the few people who didn't give me shit over it.
Probably just didn't care.
It was a grown-ass woman.
Yeah, you were perfectly capable.
Yeah, they were all just freaking out because they didn't know where I was. Anyway, yeah, I was dumb. But, enjoy your life. Do that crazy thing.
You know that crazy thing? Just getting a license. Yeah.
But yeah, maybe one day when you do have a car and your license and a non-toddler, the two of you can pack up and just do a crazy thing.
Just go away for
a few days.
3 days.
Just let your mom know you're leaving.
Oh, yeah. Just spontaneously.
Just pack up a few things in a bag and take off for a few days and go see something.
Leave.
It's freaking awesome. And I had nothing but $20 and no plan. And a vague idea of where I was headed. I didn't have a map in my car.
I don't think I could do it that
There was no such thing as GPS. I did not have a cell phone.
Yeah.
It was pre-cell phones.
Yeah.
I borrowed $20 and took off. And
$20.
$20 was enough to get me to Houston.
Oh my God, do you know how much that costs now?
Oh God, I wouldn't get to Dallas on $20 now.
No. No.
No, oh my gosh, yeah, because gas was like maybe $1 a gallon at the time. So yeah, I was enough to fill my car up twice.
Damn.
And then, you know, I got a few bucks off the guy that I went to go see, and he filled up my tank before I left, and yeah. Yeah, I had no idea how to get to where I was going. I did not have a map.
Oh my God.
I just, like, drove to Houston, following road signs. And then when I saw signs...
That's how it's done.
When I saw signs for the University of Houston, I pulled off and I called my friend. Yep. That was fun.
It's like, okay, where are you at?
And then I was like, hey dude, I'm in town, what up?
That's funny.
So I stayed with him for a few days. Yeah.
Nice. Alright. This one is, are you happy with the life you've made? Good and bad.
Yeah. I have kids I adore. A husband that I adore and that adores me. An awesome mother.
Oh yeah. Grandma's pretty cool. She's
Yeah,
a little senile, but she's great.
Yeah, she's getting a little dotty in her old age, but I love her to pieces. I wouldn't trade her for nothing.
Oh no. I love my grandma.
She's amazing. And, of course, my grandbabies. Oh, those two are amazing.
Yeah. They're both brats, but I love the kids.
I love where I ended up. You know, I love the family that we've all created.
I don't want to be Mickey's fat Aunt Eli. I want to interact with him, but I don't really know how.
Well, you'll get there.
Yeah.
There are some things I play with him sometimes. So.
He's so quiet.
Yeah, he
it's
really is.
Hard to connect with him.
Kevin and Chris do it, but
well, yeah, they're his parents, though. That's different.
Yeah.
I don't connect with him like I do with Charlie, but that's because I spend more time with her.
Yeah, exactly. And she's such a huge personality.
Oh my God, she's gigantic.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see what the teachers think of her. I hope they think she's awesome.
I'm sure they will.
I'm sure they
she's
will
pretty
too.
awesome.
She's a pretty cool kid.
Yeah, she's funny.
The people at church love her. They are absolutely marveled by her.
She's amazing.
They love her so much.
I love her
so much too. Like, she's a huge part of my life.
I watched that video the other day and just started bawling.
Really?
For how much I love her.
Yeah, I fucking love my
I was
kid.
just completely overwhelmed with it.
Yeah. I love my kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I took the video. I wanted to be able to look back at that moment.
It'll be important to you.
Oh yeah, I know.
For sure.
I leave little stuff for myself when I get older because I know that I'm gonna want to look back at it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And see it, like when I see her pictures now, from when we were living in the apartment.
When she was a little baby.
Videos of her talking and interacting with things.
And
It's always fun to see those videos.
Yeah.
Because I get to see those moments.
They're very special.
They're super special to me. I'll be just sitting here on the couch.
And that's not really something I could do with you guys. We didn't have that equipment.
No. And that was kind of...
I've got a lot more of them than I ever did of you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Like videos and stuff, yeah.
Oh, yeah. This day and age, if you're not taking... and it's just getting better and better.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. It gets better and better. Hopefully it doesn't end into a dystopia.
Yeah. Let's hope not.
I'm cool with the utopia where we're all united.
That'd be great.
Everyone agrees basically on how we should live life.
Yeah, basically the human race needs to get their shit together.
Not complete total control, domination, but a democracy, but where everybody understands
where we have a shared goal.
Where we have a shared goal in life, where we want to be progressively as a nation, as a
Sadly,
world.
I don't know if we're ever going to get there at this point. Anyway, any
we
more
get in
questions?
our own way. No, that's it.
That was it?
It was a long podcast. This is going to be a bitch to move.
It's going to be a bitch to edit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, this will have to be a two-parter. I'll get to interview you next time.
I might have to cut this in half to send it through. But I don't know if it deletes the other half. Because you can cut it, but I don't know if it deletes the other half. And I don't want to figure that out on accident.
Right.
Being the only take. I wonder if I could copy this.
Probably.
Okay. Alright, so that was the Jazz and Eli podcast. I'm Eli.
I'm Jazz.
And, Alright, I apologize for not getting the podcast out sooner. We had some issues with editing it and couldn't get it out in time last week. I mentioned in the next podcast and hope that if we have any listeners, that you please forgive us. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Eli Podcasts and leave a comment and a like and subscribe if you want to hear more in the future. Alright.